Hello everyone. This is the third episode of the series The Last of Us. The third episode begins near Boston, by the bank of a wild river, where the main character is building a stone memorial in honor of his fallen friend, Tess. Since there's no place nearby to spend the night, he plans to keep moving. The girl Ellie asks the man not to blame her for his friend's death. The adults made their own choice. After exchanging a few thoughts, the characters continue their journey. They walk through an abandoned, overgrown land. Joel keeps a careful eye on his surroundings, while the girl bombards him with an endless stream of questions. According to the smuggler, there are no infected in the area, but there are creatures far more dangerous, surviving humans. Reminding her that it's just the two of them now, Ellie again asks for a gun for safety, but the man refuses. Soon, they reach an old diner where smugglers had stashed some supplies in case of a shortage. Inside, Ellie finds an old arcade machine she had only heard about from her friends in the camp. While Joel tries to remember where exactly the stash is hidden, the girl discovers a poorly concealed trapdoor in the next room. Curious, she cautiously climbs down. Once below, she wisely places a trash bin under the hole so she can quickly climb back out if needed. With her flashlight, she begins searching the shelves, but finds only hygiene products. As the teenager examines a manual closely, a threatening growl echoes in the darkness. She points her flashlight toward the far corner of the basement and sees an infected person crushed under concrete blocks. The debris has rendered him immobile. Ellie approaches, takes out her knife and slices above his eyebrow to see what's under the skin. Finally, she strikes him in the head to put him down for good. Joel, having found the stash, calls for her, but she doesn't respond. Drawing his revolver, the man carefully sneaks into the next room, only for Ellie to come out, proudly showing off an item she found, without mentioning the infected. Joel hides the arcade machine. It has no ammo anyway, and resumes their journey. After walking a bit further, they reach the top of a hill where the wreckage of a crashed plane is scattered. Ellie curiously examines the debris and asks Joel if he had ever flown on a plane. He replies that flying never thrilled him much. The girl then asks how it all started. Joel explains that according to one theory, the fungus got into flour, which was used to make food. People got infected and passed the disease on. Everything quickly spiraled out of control. At a fork in the road, Joel suggests they take a detour through the woods. The road continues ahead, but the forest route is safer. Intrigued, Ellie chooses to walk a little down the road and ends up stumbling upon a mass grave. The ravine is filled with sun-bleached bones. The smuggler tells her that to stop the spread of the infection, the government decided to eliminate the population of small towns. The story shifts to the year 2003. Government troops are systematically searching houses and forcibly loading local residents into trucks for evacuation, an evacuation that will ultimately end with a pile of corpses in a nearby ravine. Watching all of this from a secure bunker via a surveillance system is Bill. He hears soldiers moving around in the house above him, but they don't find him. Once all the residents have been evacuated, Bill waits the appropriate amount of time before cautiously emerging from a hidden passage. Climbing out into the deserted town, he removes his mask and, after making sure the coast is clear, starts collecting everything that might be useful. He hooks up a boat to his pickup truck and heads to a gas station, then to a store, gathering everything he needs, including fuel. At one point, the town loses electricity, but Bill already has a fuel-powered generator running in his backyard. Later, he visits the local gas station and confidently opens the necessary valves to provide himself with energy and comfort, avoiding the need to return to primitive conditions. After stocking up on alcohol from a nearby store, the town's lone remaining resident begins transforming the area to suit his needs, setting up a perimeter fence and placing traps to deter unwelcome guests. Soon, infected individuals start falling into the traps. Bill watches it all through his surveillance system. 4 years of this peaceful existence pass by. One day, Bill receives an alert from his security system. An uninvited guest has fallen into one of his trap pits. When he arrives, he finds a bearded man named Frank. After confirming at gunpoint that he's not infected, Bill releases him. Relieved, Frank asks for some food. After a short conversation, Bill decides to let him into the house. There, the guest takes a hot shower, changes into clean clothes, and enjoys a meal prepared by the host, boldly taking the seat at the head of the table. After dinner, when Bill hints that it's time for Frank to leave, the guest notices the piano and offers to play something as a thank you. Despite Bill's protests, Frank performs his version of a popular pop song. When it becomes unbearable, Bill interrupts and sits at the piano himself. He plays a tender melody, prompting Frank to ask who it's dedicated to. When Bill says it's not about a girl, Frank moves closer, and their interaction gradually becomes more personal. 3 years later, in 2010, Frank is now living in the house as a full-fledged co-owner. He often contradicts Bill, the man who built this safe haven practically from scratch, insisting that everything around should be arranged the way he wants. Among other things, Frank has a need to make friends. He gets in touch with a woman via radio who lives nearby and invites her over. The woman turns out to be Tess, who at that point is still alive. She and Joel are establishing a smuggling route nearby, and a safe stopover base along the way would be incredibly useful. While Tess and Frank discuss the situation and a system of coded signals, the ever-suspicious Bill has lunch with Joel, keeping a pistol within reach. The smuggler notes that Bill has done a great job setting everything up, though he's still missing a few things Joel can help provide. In the end, the two men come to a mutual agreement for cooperation. Another 3 years pass, and in 2013, Bill has reinforced the perimeter with old cars. After a run, Frank wants to show him something. A strawberry patch grown from seeds he got in exchange for one of Bill's pistols. That night, a group of hostile raiders sneaks up to the fence. They carelessly trigger Bill's security system, which sets most of them on fire. Frank, awakened by gunshots and screams, rushes outside and sees Bill firing at the intruders with a rifle. Having forgotten to take cover, he's hit in the stomach by a stray bullet. Frank drags him back into the house and tends to the wound, while Bill gives him instructions on what to do if he dies. First and foremost, to contact Joel, who can help the now helpless survivor. 2023, another 10 years later. Frank, suffering from Parkinson's disease, spends his days in a wheelchair, swallowing smuggled pills supplied by Joel, unable even to open the packaging himself. Bill now has to care for him completely. One morning, Frank announces his decision. He wants to end his life so as not to be a burden. He chooses a specific way to go: to spend one last day with Bill, take a walk, hold a symbolic wedding ceremony, and then drink wine into which a lethal dose of pills has been mixed. They follow through with the plan, and in the evening, after dinner, Bill pours the wine and adds the powder into Frank's glass. They each drink their wine in one gulp, and only afterward does Frank realize that Bill had also poisoned the entire bottle. Understanding that they'll both soon be gone, the two men head upstairs to the bedroom. Outside, following safe paths, Joel and Ellie approach the gate. The smuggler enters the code, and they step into the settlement where traces of civilization still remain. However, Joel is uneasy to find that the door to his partner's house is unlocked. With his revolver at the ready, Joel searches the house, leaving Ellie on the first floor. The girl notices the remains of an unfinished meal and logically assumes the hosts are no longer there. She finds a letter left on the table from Bill. It's addressed to Joel, or to whoever finds it before he does. A car key lies nearby. Ellie opens the letter and begins reading it aloud. In it, Bill warns that their decaying corpses are in the bedroom, so it's better not to go in there. Still, he leaves Joel the code to the bunker and permission to take everything he's accumulated through hard work. Also, Joel can take care of Tess. That final sentence makes Joel grow a little somber. Leaving Ellie inside, he steps outside to hide his rare display of emotion. Then he searches the garage, where an old pickup truck is parked, but the battery isn't under the hood. It's chilling in a nearby fridge. After putting it on charge, Joel tells Ellie that they're heading to Wyoming to find his brother Tommy, and if she wants to come along, she must follow his instructions without question. The two of them head down to the basement, where Bill's security control center and armory are located. After gathering useful supplies, they both take a shower, a rare luxury in the post-apocalyptic world, thanks to the house's working hot water. While Joel is cleaning up, the girl rummages through closets. She finds a pistol and secretly stashes it in her backpack. Later, the travelers climb into the pickup, buckle up, start the engine, and resume their journey, for the sake of humanity. Just as they set off, Ellie finds an audio cassette in the glove compartment and pops it into the stereo. A classic song begins to play through the speakers. To the sound of music, they slowly approach the gate, open it using the remote, and drive off into a world full of danger. The camera slowly pulls away and flies into the bedroom window, where the bodies of those who lived here for 20 years still lie. The episode ends.